there.
That is
They're slowly
Miss
coming.
Hannah weighing in at 450 pounds. She's our oldest and largest dolphin. And she's cheering for herself. Now, Panama is a rescue dolphin, as in Winter. I'm sure many of you are familiar with Winter's story. Panama, again, is also a rescue dolphin. All of these otters and dolphins here were rescued, most of the sea turtles, so we are dedicated to rescue, rehab, and release of marine animals. Now, we also have some guests coming down to do some angling with Panama, one of our interaction programs. She says, yes, I'm a very good angler. It's one of her specialties. And Winter, of course, is going to be working with Abby as we tell you her story. So let's begin with Winter's story, which starts on the east coast of Florida, over by Cape Canaveral. Do we have any guests from the east coast of Florida? Titusville? Oh, okay, here we go. You guys are like Winter's neighbors, almost. So Winter was found over in that area. Also, Hope is our youngest dolphin. She is in that far back pool. In case you're wondering who the smallest dolphin back there is, she is our most newly rescued dolphin. And she's very, very cute. So definitely check her out. So Winter and Panama were both rescued. Now Panama was actually found over on this side of Florida. She was found on the Gulf of Mexico, in the Gulf of Mexico, on the beach near Panama City, and that's how she got her name. She was rescued after stranding up on the beach, and we believe that Panama was very, very sick from being fed from boats. Now, how many of you think it's a good idea to feed wild dolphins or any animals in the wild?
Not if it's
How many of you think it's a bad idea? Okay, just checking. It is a bad idea to feed wild dolphins, and it's also illegal. So unfortunately, what happens is dolphins, and we believe this is what happened to Panama, will go up to boats, so it's very cute, which is not hard. They always look like they're smiling, right? That's their one facial expression. And Panama, unfortunately, we believe, was seen doing this by some biologists. And unfortunately, what happened was she ended up becoming very sick. She beached herself up on the shore because she was tired of surfacing to get air. Now, let me show you what happens when dolphins beach themselves, because it can become very, very serious. And that is why you don't ever want to see wild animals, especially wild dolphins. So here we have some scarring on Panama's back. Do you guys see that? She has a big scar that runs right there. Now, unfortunately, what happens is when dolphins are out of the water, they are susceptible to sunburn when their skin dries and cracks, and you get second and third-degree burns, just like people. And in Panama's case, she had an infection. She was anemic, and she was about 100 pounds underweight when this happened to her. So we believe that was because of that begging behavior, which is very, very harmful. And as I mentioned, it's also illegal. So it's very important to respect wild dolphins out in the open ocean. It's not needed. I'm also going to point out that Panama's belly button right here, for those of you that were wondering whether or not dolphins have belly buttons. They do, in fact. And did anybody wonder if they were ticklish? Let's answer that beautiful question. Oh, it looks like they are ticklish. So as I mentioned, Panama is that rescue dolphin. We're going to hear her side of the story.
Okay,
well, you heard it here first. I am going to send her back to her trainer, Talia. Now that you have been formally introduced to Panama. Now, because she was begging from boats, or we believe she was begging from boats, we are unable to release her back out into the wild because she's learned how to do that, and she would go back to doing that to get food. And she would also probably teach her baby to beg, and the baby would become sick. Another dolphin would learn to beg. It alters their wild behavior. It is very, very harmful. We love them, and we love them for being wild. We love how they are out in the wild, right? We don't want to change their wild behavior. Now, Winter has just joined us, and she's going to be working with her trainer, Abby, who's been working with Winter since Winter was first rescued. So they have a lot of history together. Now I'm going to sing while Winter says hi. Yes, we heard you say that already, Panama. We know found by a fisherman, and a team was assembled to rescue her and bring her to Clearwater Marine Aquarium, where she began her rehabilitation process, since that is what we are dedicated
Look,
to
there's right
here
there.
at the Brookhaven Animal Hospital. When Winter first arrived, we did not have very high hopes for her survival. She was actually in pretty bad shape, and that's what makes her story, in part, so inspiring. So what happened was, because that part of the body that you're looking at right now, which is called the peduncle, a very funny sounding word, the peduncle of a dolphin or whale is a part that moves up and down while they swim through the water. It's also very muscular. The peduncle had that rope wrapped around it so tightly that some of the circulation was cut off, and the tissue in the tail started to die off, and then it started to fall off in pieces. Once it started falling off in pieces, we treated it to be sure that it wasn't infected, and a small part did have to be amputated. But unfortunately, again, she was very, very young and very susceptible, but she did something really amazing. She taught herself to swim. Now, show me with your hands, how do dolphins normally swim? Up and down, right. So Winter, for those of you that are winter experts, taught herself to swim how? Side to side, exactly. So she moved that peduncle that our intern Alice is holding side to side and moved through the water like a shark or a fish or an alligator, but not like a dolphin, right? So she has a very unique way of swimming. Now, because of this, the muscles on the side of her body have become somewhat overdeveloped, and it causes her peduncle to curve, and it curves in that downward shape, almost like a question mark. And that is why we have the prosthetic tail that we use the physical therapy with. And you'll also notice we do other physical therapy sessions with her throughout the day, sometimes with the tail and sometimes without it. We also do dancing here in the winter zone. You'll see a lot of dancing going on. Winter is a very talented dolphin. She can sing, she can act. You're seeing some of that dancing right now as well. Now, the training we do here is all based on positive reinforcement. And that means when Winter does something correctly, we reward her or reinforce her, and because she gets that good consequence, it means she's probably going to do it again in the future. Now, this includes the tail. When we put that on her, she's cooperating with us. She says, yes, I am, because she's getting some kind of reward, whether it's kisses, like you just saw Abby give her a kiss, pet down, toys, fish, any of those things. Now, here's the prosthetic tail right here. It's a little bit different in color than some of the other ones she had, because we are going to be doing some motion analysis with this. So we're going to put little white dots on it, film her swimming to better the design. So here is the tail. This is what she uses for her physical therapy. And by wearing the tail, she can reduce that up and down swimming motion that is natural to dolphins and take the stress off the side-to-side swimming muscles that she uses, the ones that are overdeveloped. Now, I'll say a little bit more about the training we use, because it's very, very important. And we're going to use that training right now while we do some physical therapy. Alice is going to put a mat underneath Winter's peduncle, and you'll notice the peduncle has that curve shape, and she is going to push down to help stretch that area. So we'll let him watch she does that a little bit. And what you will notice is that Winter sits nice and still, and when she's done, Alice is done helping her stretch, she's going to get some kind of reward. So we'll watch and do a little bit of stretching. And remember that Winter is 7 years old, so for those of you that have kids, are you impressed that a 7-year-old can sit nice and still like that? Yeah, exactly. And she got a little tap to let her know she did a good job. And she gave a little squeak. Winter has been known to do the squeaky bird noise when she seems to be excited. And there she is getting a nice little kiss. And she's going back with her trainer, Abby. And there she is making that famous squeaky bird noise. She sounds very excited. And they can manipulate the inside to make those different sounds you hear. Let's listen.
I wonder if they paid for it.
All right, you did a very nice job. A little bit of singing for you. Now, the noise that Panama was making earlier was also coming from the vocal. So that is a very important part of the dolphin. It's not just for breathing, but it's also for communicating. Now, it sounds like a lot of you saw the film Dolphin Tale. We do want to let you know that you can take a trip down to Winter's Dolphin Tale Adventure. We'll get you there for free and we'll bring you back. So, you have that wristband, the orange wristband. Go ahead and see somebody in the green shirt. We'll get you some passes to hop on the boat or on the Jolly Trolley to go down to Winter's Dolphin Tale Adventure and see the 3 Dill's Seafront movie. It's a must-see, and as I mentioned, it is free with your admission. So you'll notice that Abby has a basket full of different objects. And what we're going to do now is something very, very fun. Abby is going to show Winter some of these objects. Now what we're working on is what we call a cognitive behavior. It just means we want her to use her brain. We want her to put her thinking cap on. And we know that dolphins are very, very clever, right? So we've thrown 2 objects in the pool. And Abby is going to show Winter one of those objects. It's either going to be the fireman towel or that blue foam brick. And she's going to give her a nice hard look at it. And Winter's task is to go find the matching object. So she has to understand the idea of sameness, which is an abstract concept. So it's very, very important. We'll see if she does it. You guys think she can get this right?
Yeah.
We'll see. And it looks like she got it right. What do you guys think of that? So now you get to see how the dolphin dolphins are. You had any doubts before? It sounds like Winter is also very, very excited. Now this is something we can do to exercise them mentally. Their environments will always be changing out in the wild. And of course, it's very important to keep them mentally stimulated. It's a very important part of what we do here as trainers. Now we're going to show Winter the second object, which is the blue foam brick. Do you guys think she can get this one right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's see what she does.
I think Panama. She's showing.
And she got it right. Let's give her a big round of applause and encouragement. She sounds very, very excited. So all this is possible with the positive reinforcement training that we do. And it's a very important part of our care of the animals here at Clearwater Marine Aquarium. Now another very important part of our care here is actually you folks coming to visit us, because without you, we would be unable to do the work we do here. Because we are a nonprofit working animal hospital, and just by coming through the door, you're helping support us in the rehabilitation and rescue of these amazing animals. So Panama, can you give you guys a big thank